Hello everyone and welcome to the fourth round of the MRC GTE League. This time brought to you from the Nurburgring. As you can see, we have a small change this time. Instead of reverse championship order, we have one-shot qualifying. So there's 5 minutes, everyone will go out and do a lap. Fastest takes pole. You get one shot. So hopefully it makes an exciting grid and a mixed up one. As you can see, it's a very, very wet Nurburgring today. So getting a balance between pushing and just staying on track in this one-shot qualifying is gonna be tough. Do you go all out and maybe mess it up, or do you just set a banker lap? But we have 13 cars this time, and while everyone is on their out laps, we shall go over the championship. Coleman is currently top with 115 points. Then comes Nathan, who is now no longer part of the league, on 75, so he will continue to drop. Tomas is third with 72 after his second place in Spa last time. Ben is fourth, 70. Gaz, who had a mixed race last time, but still a good result, in fifth with 62. Adrian, the first of the AM guys, on 56. Then Sean on the 42, Will on 38. And Steph 34, Greg 20, Philo 16, Indrek 14, and the other Ben on 8. Adam on 0, who is partaking in his first race today. So we'll see him for the first time, and we have one or two new guys. We have William and Jeff, I think, are the only two new ones. I think we also have a guy called Alex today. But yeah, in the pro standings it goes Nathan, Coleman, Sean, Gaz, Ben, Tomas, Will and Adam. Will and Adam with no points. Nathan at the top of that one, but surely will be passed by Coleman. Then in AM, Adrian is top with 15, then a big gap back to Steph, Greg, Indrek, Philo and Ben. So as we start to ramp up for the first laps, there's Tomas, who is first on track. We will try and find that. There is Steph, he's going through the... he's just come at the S's, I think that is. He's going up to the chicane. Philo is down into turn 1. We'll go on board with Adam. We'll do an onboard lap in this very, very wet Nurburgring. Down into the Castrol S section. A very tight, slow section. Just come out of turn 2. You go into turn 3. Then you got turn 4 after this, which some people find controversial. Some people say you can run wide in it, some say you can't. I'm not entirely sure what the rules are for it today, but it looks like Adam has a car in front of him. Then comes down into turn 6 and 7, the Ford curve. Looks like he's getting held up a bit now. So it isn't going to be great from... he'll get a slipstream down here, down into the Dunlop curve. In the dry, you'd spot the start of that concrete bit, and then just a bit later for your braking point. Looks like he's struggling for front end grip there. The BMW in front of him is pulled away a bit. Now surely this is not flat in the wet. The Michael Schumacher S. No, a big left for Adam. And then braking down into turn 11. Bringing the car back to the left hand side for the bit curve. Again, seeming like he's not got that much front end grip. And into little hats and beats kink, that'll be flat in the wet still. And then into the chicane. Proper name for it is Vidal. There's 14 and then 15. Try and get good traction out of there, that's always the hard part with that corner. And then round the Coca-Cola curve. Some people stay tight, some people go wide and take a tighter exit. Adam seems to have stayed in the middle of the road. What time will he do? Gaz is professional with a 2:07. Adam does a 2:02. There's Steph. One of the SBR names is up in third. I think that might be Sean. Just hard to get more and more times on the board. Where will Steph put himself? He stays P11. There's William off the road. One of the SBR guys has gone up into second. So William will be the last one to cross the line, but based on where we joined him, he might be in last place, because he was very, very off at Vidal. He's going to cross the line, and did he stay 13th there, or did he move up? We didn't quite get to see. So Gaz takes pole by 2/10 from Sean, and it's a big gap all the way back to Coleman, Ben, Adam, who are all together. And you got Alex, Tomas, Jeff, Adrian, Greg in 10th, Philo in 10th. William actually managed to get 12th, and Steph down in 13th. Steph had a very bad first sector. But you can also see how bad Williams' last sector was, 22.7. Whereas Philo in front of him, he was 1.7 slower. So that is your grid for the race. You wouldn't say it's that mixed up, but you never know. People might come through in the race. It will be a tough, tough race for the drivers, so let's see when we get started, how it will go. So we seem to be taking a little bit of time. Presumably, they're either letting me see it, and I already have, or someone is taking a long time to press host. There we go. And we're on to the race. There is Gaz in his Ford. Will this be his first win? Of course, he had that spin in Imola and then Spa last week. It turned out he actually was low on fuel. That's why we saw him slow down in his pursuit of Tomas. So if he had enough fuel, we could have seen a good battle there. But this is one of Gaz's best chances to win. So then we have Sean, Coleman, our current championship leader, Ben, Adam Morris making his first appearance today. Then we have Alex, Tomas, got a brilliant second place last time. There's Jeff in his American BMW. I think he actually is American. There's Adrian in his Corvette, Greg in his Porsche, Philo in his Ferrari. Maybe he can be a bit cleaner than last week, because it wasn't ideal for him. There's William in his Porsche. And at the back of the grid we have Steph in his Ferrari. So we'll wait for everyone to be ready, and then we will go for our formation lap. So the drivers will form up out of the Vidal chicane, and then anywhere from out of the last corner up to the start line, Gaz will choose when he wants to go. When he will pin the throttle and try and leave everyone behind him. We could see a very clean turn 1, we could see carnage, people trying to overtake others, missing braking points into turn 1, anything like that, so I think we will leave the map on for this, just try and spot if anyone's gone off towards the back. There should be any moment now we get going for our formation lap. There we go, we'll be getting ready for the formation lap now. Lights come on, of course they won't go. So the race info, like you will know, is the pit window will open on minute 44 and will close on minute 22. So they have a 22-minute space in which they can pit, and they have to wait 16 until it opens. Of course you can pit outside of that time, or again during that time for damage or other pit stops, so you have to take a mandatory pit stop during that period. Gaz will lead them round for a formation lap. They will line up towards the end of it. We'll be doing a rough speed of about 80 for most of the lap until they come to form up, where he'll slow down to 50 to try and get everyone side by side. And you would assume Gaz would pick the right hand side for when he wants to go. So there's Steph, back of the grid. You can see all the cars in front of him there. He'll be planning to pick as many of them off as he can. And this is onboard championship leader Coleman. He has Sean and Gaz ahead of him. Of course, it was Gaz and Coleman that we saw produce very, very good comeback drives last week. They took 3rd and 4th. Coleman had a spin on the first lap, then crashed at the exit of Lacombe. Gaz was crashed into it, Lacombe, you would say, and then had fuel issues. So he needed to... They both had issues, made extra pit stops and stuff, and came back to finish 3rd and 4th. There is Ben with just the one podium this season in the opening round. He also had a tough time of it last week, only came 5th after keeping it clean for most of the race, but small issues towards the end held him back, and he'll be hoping to get back onto the podium. Adam Morris making his debut this weekend, or this week should I say. Someone I know personally, I'm sure he'll be trying to put a lot of pressure on Ben ahead of him, but he'll also have to watch out for Alex behind him in the Ford GT. The Ford has proved to be a very, very good car. So we'll be coming up to the chicane. Out with Vidal. Gaz picks the inside line. Sean will line up beside him. Ben will line up beside Coleman. Alex will line up beside Adam, and so on and so forth. And any point from now, Gaz can choose to pin it. There seems to have been some... Jeff seems to be very far behind the pack, and Gaz is gone. He's waited to the last moment. So the people at the back have been slightly screwed. Jeff seemed to be a good way off the pack. But all seems to be status quo for now. Looks like Adam's having a move on Ben, is he? Ben's also maybe thinking, oh, look at Coleman, they touch. Coleman's gone wide. Is he going to drop down to 5th? Looks like he will. No, he's going to come back on Adam. There's Adrian. He's down to last. Is he missing a rear wing? He is. So he's been rear-ended badly at the start, it seems. There's Ben. He's made his way up to 3rd at the expense of Coleman. A bit wide from... Is that Sean there? Yeah. A bit wide through turn 7 and turn 6 even. But so far Gaz has streaked away. And there's William. He's now off at turn 6 it seems. Maybe he was the one who hit Adrian and is oh, there's 2 cars off. That is Steph and Philo. So we didn't quite see that one, but after the week he had last time, I don't think Steph will be wanting to, or Philo will be wanting to be involved in many more incidents. We didn't see whose fault that was, but it's a poor start for the pair of them. And there is Sean. He's off at the Schumacher S. He's now down. So as I said, this is going to be a tough race for the drivers. As it's proved to be, Sean has gone round in the first lap, whether on his own or whether assisted. We'll wait to see, but the Schumacher S is a notoriously difficult curb. So Ben has made his way up to 2nd, and there's Gaz. He's streaked away in the first lap. He'll have about a 2.5 second gap over the line, maybe even more. Yeah, about 2.6, 2.7 seconds over the line, so he's had a brilliant first lap. There is Adam. There's a bit of a gap back to Tomas. Is he going to be passed by Alex? Alex is thinking about it. Tomas has shut the door on him. There's no way through for Alex that time. He'll have to wait. We have Jeff in 7th, Greg in 8th, Sean down in 9th, so it'll be interesting to see where he can recover. He can recover too. Of course, we have Adrian, Philo and Steph, who have all been involved in lap 1 incidents. We didn't see Adrian's. We saw Philo's and Steph's in the background. We couldn't quite see who caused it, but we just saw Adrian without a rear wing. And no explanation. So as we move back to Coleman, he'll be looking at trying to get back past Adam after that terrible turn 1 where he went really wide and ended up losing positions to both Ben and Adam. Of course, he's naturally inherited one with the spin of Sean. So I have both Steph and Philo in the pits. There is Steph, there is Philo. It seemed as though Steph was the one whose car came off worst. There's Tomas, he's got a little bit of a gap back to Alex now. So some of these guys in the midfield who have just stayed out of trouble have gained a couple of places. Like Tomas, I'm sure he started 7th, Greg started 10th, I believe, and they've both just gained 2 places. Should be interesting to see, does Alex actually have the pace to attack at Tomas, or was that just a I'm close, I'll go for it? So who's come out the head's head? There's Philo, he's down at turn 3. There's Steph, he is in turn 2, so they're not actually that far apart from each other. Oh, that's Adam round. Coleman's avoided him. What about the rest? That's Adam backwards. And Greg will come around the corner to see his fellow Porsche just ahead of him. But that is probably the easiest move Coleman will ever make. He had to avoid ramming into Adam, which he did very, very well. But it's another free possession for some of the guys in the midfield. Oh. Oh, that's Adam off. Again. I wouldn't presume he had damage. Maybe he's just gone wide again, but he's down to 9th. So yeah, Tomas, from 7th on the grid, is up to 4th, just by staying on track. So that's a good recovery from him. Sean's benefited from that, he's now on the back of Greg. Six-tenths apart, see if Sean can make the move, and if he can, where? Of course, in conditions like these, the grip levels will be forever changing. You'll either be gaining more or losing some. Oh, and that's he's gone down the inside of Greg. Greg's gone wide. And that is giving Sean a free move up to 7th. Sean making some moves early on, trying to get back up to where he was. There's race leader Gaz. Looks like that is Steph he is ahead of. He's lapped Steph. 4.3 seconds he has now back to Ben. He was 1.5 seconds faster on the last lap. So Gaz clearly liking these conditions. And looks set to probably take his first win. Just look at Greg. He has Adam bearing back down on him. He's just been passed by a recovering Sean. Is he now going to be passed by a recovering Adam? Board of Adam now 3/10. Has Greg gone wide? Adam's going to get him. He's got him before turn 7. So again, wide from Greg has allowed a car to pass him. How about Tomas? How's he doing with Alex? 1.2 seconds, 1.3. Looks like for now, he's out of the threat. Of course, it was Tomas last week who stayed out of trouble for most of the race. He was the one who kept it on track, apart from Nathan. And that's what got him his 2nd place. I'm sure if he can just keep it on track today and not make any issues, he could be on for another good result. Coleman in the other black and white Ford GT. I can't imagine how hard the chicane would be in these conditions. Let's see now, is anyone close on track? Not particularly. Looks like Williams got past Greg. Greg's presumably gone off somewhere. I'm not sure where that scraped inside of his car has come from, whether that was early on or he's just gotten that. There's Adrian, now with a rear wing. Of course, the problem for people like Adrian and Philo and Steph, they have to pit again with a window that opens in 4 minutes. Of course, they don't have to pit until there's 22 minutes left in the race, but they do have to pit again. So they could stay out and just keep going and keep going and keep going, like we saw a lot of people do. They would wait right to the end of the pit window if they had damage, then come in. Or if they'd done an early stop for damage, they would pit on the last possible lap when the window was shut. Tomas and Alex still about the 1 second. Although, it looks like Jeff is closing in on Alex 6/10. There's a 2/10 difference last lap in Alex's favour. Are we going to see a battle, or is someone going to end up off the tracks? They both go very, very wide through 11. Alright, Sean behind them, he's starting to close back into this battle. He'll be very, very annoyed after spinning off from second in the early stages. Jeff looking very, very wiggly under braking, but that, I think in these conditions, is to be expected. Yep, ever so slightly gone up, but the gap between Jeff and Sean is coming down. That's someone round. Is that Steph again? It is. Oh, he's been reset. Oh, and he's spun while being reset. He's reset again. Don't spin this time. Because he has. That looks like Greg coming past him. We'll go back to Sean, his pursuit of Jeff. So if he can get past him, he should be able to get past Alex and maybe Tomas pretty quick and get himself back up to P4. And then, from P4, Coleman is not that far up the road. Only a couple of seconds. Of course, making moves in these conditions are very, very tough. You want to outbrake them, but 2 meters late on the brake is catastrophic in these conditions. You will go very, very long. There's equal machinery for the two drivers, probably different setups, but both in the M6 GTLM. That looks like it's wide from Jeff. Sean had to brake there to not go into the back of him. Looks like he's gotten a better exit onto the back straight. How's he going to be through the hats and beats? He's still close. Is he going to think about a move into VDOL, or is he going to wait? He's waited. Thinks better of a move into there in these conditions. Well, Jess had to go over the track, so that's let Sean through. Has done the work for him. Next up, Sean will be Alex. About 2 second gap. So over the last time's last lap, Gaz 1 second quicker than Ben, as Ben's going through the Castrol S out into turn 4, and through this section that's classed as turn 5. Then he'll go into 6, and down into the Ford curve. Of course, this is now the lap that people can pit. The pit window is open now for 22 minutes. And that now looks like Philo that has been lapped. It is. He's been lapped by Gaz, and is Ben not too far behind him. And there's Tomas. He's got Alex about a second behind him. Coleman 2.7 ahead. Coleman, after his impressive qualifying, is not managing to hold up with Gaz and Ben right now. If anything, a lot of Tomas, Alex and Sean are catching him. They were all in the 2-minute 6s, and then Coleman at 2.7.2. Whether it was a one-off lap or he is actually struggling will remain to be seen. There's Sean, he's right in the back of Alex now, 4 tenths. Doesn't look like he's got the straight line speed. Very early braking into the chicane. Looked a bit deep from Sean in the first apex, but he's gathered it all up. Can he get a good enough exit onto this back straight? He's losing for now. It doesn't look like the M6 has the grunt even in the slipstream. And that is adamant. He's come in at 42 minutes, so pretty much his first opportunity. He's the first one to blink. Now will the others wait? Or will they follow suit? There's this train of 3. Tomas, Alex and Sean. Jeff not far behind, of course, just not long passed by Sean. What will Sean be thinking? Does he think he has to get past soon? Is he just going to wait for a mistake or the first opportunity he gets? So far, it doesn't look like he has the grunt down the straights to match that Ford. Trying to look like he has a grip advantage. It just doesn't have to seem to have enough on the straights. Whether that's just a fundamental effect of the M6 or whether he has more downforce or something, but might have to force the issue here. He's gotten a better exit this time, he's gaining. Are we going to see him go down the inside into turn 1? This is his best shot so far. No. I thought he would, but he's stayed out of that one. I really thought we'd see him down the inside. Alex has gone about wide. Is he going to try and force him offline? No. He's going to cut back underneath him, go into it in turn 3. Still no. Seems though Alex is now feeling the pressure. Sean's definitely got a better exit out of turn 4. But now it's into turn 6 where overtaking's not as easy. Sean's definitely over the back of him now. Is he going to have a look into the Dunlop? You would think your best places are the chicane or turn 1 in these conditions. And it looks like Alex is really feeling the pressure of Sean, so a move into the chicane might be on. If he can get a good exit out of bit curve, like he did down the straight into turn 1, he had a great run there. Well, I'm surprised he didn't go for the move. What about this time? Oh, not a good exit for Sean this time. But we've seen him be very fast through the chicane. Very fast out of it and very fast down the straight into turn 1 through traction. The gap's up towards a second now. Sean clearly didn't have the best couple of corners. You can see how much he brings it down mid-corner, and then just as soon as they get onto the straight, it goes up and up and up. There is Gaz, who seems to be in a world of his own just now, 10 seconds ahead of Ben. He's doing his own thing, and this definitely looks like his chance to win. As we now have Greg in the pits, he's just come in. Let's go back to Sean, he's still that 1 second to Alex. Jeff is closer to Sean than Sean is Alex, never mind. Jeff must have had a moment out of turn 4 there, because that's gone from 7/10 to 3.5 seconds. So as of now, Sean and Alex is the closest battle on track, it would seem. Alex, after initially feeling... Oh! That's Coleman! He's gone off with the Schumacher S. So that's the second car we've seen off there. That's where we saw Sean off. So clearly a lot of drivers are getting caught out there, and you would assume Coleman's just going to come into the pits this lap. Unless he didn't actually hit the wall, but it looked like he did from where we were. We'll see what he does. And there's Sean and Alex side by side. Sean's down the inside, but we've seen Alex have the better straight line speed. Can Alex come back at him? He's in the slipstream. Sean moves to the middle, Alex chooses to go for the outside. Which, I mean, if he can stay there, will become the inside for turn 2. Sean's gone deep. Is Alex going to cut back? No, he didn't have the traction. And Sean has got past, has he? Alex is harassing him. But finally, into turn 3, it looks like Sean has it done. Yeah, as we said, Coleman is now into the pits. Whether he has damage to fix, we don't know. Where has Alex gone? Alex has spun somewhere. He's now down to 6th, and 3 seconds behind Jeff. So he either spun at turn 3 or turn 4. Next up for Sean is Tomas, about 3 seconds for Sean to make up on Tomas. Of course, he has the free air now. He's past Alex. So where's Coleman come out? He's 5.5 seconds behind Adam. So Adam was probably in like 7th before he pitted. But more people have gone off and more people have been battling. So this could still be net 5th or something for Coleman. Net 6th. We'll see when... Oh, I do not want to do that. We'll see when all the pit stops have played out. There's just under 12 minutes of the pit window remaining. And there is Ben into turn 1. Will this be his first podium since the opening round at Daytona? Came 4th at Imola, 5th at Spa. And by all accounts, he should finish 6th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. But he's set to defy that today. 12 seconds into Tomas in 3rd. Just about the gap between Sean and Tomas. It's come down ever so slightly. 6/10 faster for Sean in the last lap. Of course, that included some battling with Alex. So we'll see what Sean can do when he is in clear air. Well, as up there is Steph. He might have made a second stop after crashing, or he's just continued. That's Ben in front. That's not Ben in front of him. I don't think so, anyway. It is Ben in front of him. So maybe he's 2 laps down. There's Philo. He is a lap down, and he's got one of the Porsches coming up to lap him. God knows which one. It's not Adam. It's not Greg. There's a lot of Porsches. And there is Adrian, who I think is still on the lead lap. Yep, there is Gaz. So Adrian's still on the lead lap. Didn't have a front wing at the first corner, but has kept it for now. He's still on the lead lap. And then he does have to pit again, and Greg is 13 seconds ahead of him, so a minor miracle for Adrian to get points, but you never know. What about the gap between Coleman and Adam? Still about 5.5. See what their lap times are this time, because Coleman's is a representative, being an out lap. Here is Thomas, who was that time around half a second faster than Sean. So I said, let's see what Sean can do. Now he's clear of Alex. He's gone slower than Tomas. Though it looks like overall he is still catching. I'll have to see what strategy does and who can come out ahead of who. Because we saw in Imola, strategy be very important in the rain. There's Gaz and Vidal for the 14th time. It seems like the general strategy for most drivers is to pit the last opportunity when the window shuts on 22 minutes. Of course, we had Adam pit, we had Greg pit, we had Coleman pit for, we presume, damage with his spin at the Schumacher S. That is where we also saw Sean off. But Adam and Coleman still about 5 seconds, although Coleman 0.8 faster last lap. So maybe Coleman's on a charge. There is Sean. He's got that gap to Thomas down to a second. So Sean really on a charge after his early spin. Maybe even lap 1, I believe, for his spin. If that's someone off on the inside, is that Steph again? I think that is Steph. Either he's spun or that's an interesting way to get out of the way. While that was happening, Tomas was a bit wide in the exit of turn 1, but he's still safe for now. Although a scruffy lap for Tomas, a 2-minute 8.5, losing 2.5 seconds to Sean. So We saw with Alex earlier, Sean couldn't catch a Ford in a straight. Will he be able to with Tomas? Will Tomas be running higher wings, and will that allow Sean to catch on straights? Because it eventually took a mistake for Alex to let Sean past. Bit wide in the entry there for Tomas, but he's got a good exit for it. On board with Sean, there's Adrian into the pits to make his mandatory pit stop. Of course, we have no idea why he lost his front wing, his rear wing at turn 1. We can have an idea why someone's rear-ended him, but who and how, we don't know. And again, it looks like Sean doesn't have the straight line speed on the Fords. So they've probably got about another 2 laps round before they have to pit, and that is exactly what Ben has done. He is in. He's blinked earlier than the cars around him. He is out very, very quickly. Of course, he will only need fuel for 27 laps, and he might have had some from the start of the race left. I guess the only car he's worrying about is gas, and it's going to take Sutton to overturn the 15 seconds or so he had. That's also William in the pits. One of the what seemed like a million Porsches on the grid. There's Philo in the pits. So a flurry of pit stops now. We'll see a lot of the cars come in. We still have Jeff, Sean, Alex, Gaz, Tomas all to pit. I think that's all the people who need to pit, so we're going to see the entire top 6 bar Ben come in. I'm not sure if Steph served his mandatory pit stop. He might still have that to do, as Sean is now very much back on the back of Tomas here. 2 tenths. Tomas had to get out of the throttle on the exit of the S, as Ben has passed Jeff somewhere. Where is Ben? He's on the run down to the S. Someone's trying to pass. Well, that's Alex. Alex has gotten past, and it looks like it's Adrian in the background there. So 2 places lost there for Jeff. Ben and Alex passing him. Gaz is now in the pits. The race leader is in. He's now rolling down. Where's Ben? Ben is on his way up to Vidal. So Gaz is now out. Gaz, if anything, has extended his lead. Tomas is in. So Sean has 1 lap to absolutely peg it and try and get out ahead. So all the pit stops have started now. Alex is coming in. Jeff's going for 1 more. There is Adrian. Who's the next car ahead of him? Greg. Greg's in the Schumacher S. So you would say Greg needs to crash for Adrian to get anything from that. So it's about 18 seconds for Ben to Gaz. He's flown out a lead. And again, as the old phrase, the only person that can stop him right now is him. He just needs to keep it on the road, not make a mistake, and he is fine. There's Alex now rolling down the pit lanes. We'll have to see. Tomas is fighting with Coleman, so this isn't going to help his chances of coming out ahead of Sean. But for Coleman, it's another place gained. He's brought the gap down to Adam. So could Coleman pass Adam into 5th, and if he can get ahead of Sean, maybe even get 4th? That wouldn't be bad for him. Like Jeff and Sean need to pit. So theoretically, Adam right now is in a net P3. So Coleman is in the fight for that position. There's Sean coming up to Vidal, presumably about to pit. He's gone completely over Vidal. Yeah, there he goes, in he comes. Jeff will presumably also follow him in, or he gets a penalty. There is Jeff in his American branded M6. He comes in. So this will be the last pit stops, barring any crashes. There goes Adrian, unlapping himself. So there's Sean, he's pulled in. Where are the GTs? There is Coleman, and it actually looks like Tomas has fallen off Coleman up to Vidal. See, Sean is now moving. Sean is now accelerating. You can see that's Coleman now just coming around the corner. So Sean somehow is back into P3. However that has happened. He's pulled out God knows how much to Tomas, and we know Tomas battled with Coleman on the first lap, but how Sean has managed to get ahead of the likes of Adam and Coleman is beyond me. But, like we said, it's a very, very good recovery from Sean, and to an extent Coleman as well after his crash. Whereas Ben, no one unfortunately seems to be really that close right now. We might see Adam, Coleman and Tomas close up eventually. With the gap Sean has, you would think he's presumably safe in P3. Unless he makes a mistake. How close is Adam to Coleman? 1.5 seconds. So we could see these two battle for P4. And if one of them has blistering pace, Sean is 6 seconds ahead. It's not out of the question, but they would need to be very, very fast to do that. There is Jeff, fallen down to 10th after all the pit stops, after initially being in sort of fighting with Sean and all that. He's down to P10. So the pit stops have really shuffled things around, even with some people in the pit 1 or 2 laps different. It's made a huge overall difference. Here we're on board with Coleman. Not on board, we're watching Coleman. We've seen that Ford have very, very good straight line speed against the BMW. What's it going to be like when he gets onto a Porsche? This looks like Adam made a mistake out of turn 2. He was very, very over to the right, which is not a normal line. Or not that short out the corner anyway. There's Tomas doing, he's fallen a good way off of Coleman. And if anything, I'd say William could attack Tomas towards the end of the race. If the pace stays anything like they've just shown. Whereas Gaz just starting his 20th lap, 22 seconds back to Ben. So he's absolutely controlled this race. He presumably has fastest lap, he took pole. He's looking like he's going to take the win. Could this be a grand slam for Gaz's first win of the season? Whereas Coleman, he doesn't seem to be making huge inroads into Adam. Very, very small chunks he's catching. But it does look like the Ford has straight line speed over the Porsche. The Ford, I guess, is just generally a very, very fast car in the straights. Let's see what the lap times are this time around. Can Adam improve? He does. Still, 3/10 faster by Coleman. What about Tomas? He's had some poor lap times. 2:77. Again, that's an improvement. What about William? He had a 2:59, which is still nearly 2 seconds faster than what Tomas did last time. 2:50. See, at this pace, William is going to be attacking Tomas. And we have Greg and Jeff fighting. Greg's lost the place. He's 1.1 behind. He's presumably made a mistake somewhere over the chicane. And that is Jeff up into 9th. And Alex is 16 seconds ahead, so that's going to be unlikely for Jeff to do, but weirder things have happened. Back to Coleman. Adam's up to 2 seconds. So presumably Coleman's not had the greatest of first sectors. And it seems to be getting a little bit darker in the track. Yeah, Adam just seems to be pulling away. In fact, he's only 2.5 behind Sean. And I'm sure it was a lot more than that when Sean came out. So could we be on for a battle for the podium towards the end? Between Sean and Adam, and if they fight enough, Coleman could get involved. It was a faster lap last time around for Sean from Adam. He was 4/10 quicker. Adam 2/10 up, he's setting personal bests. Light level starting to fade, track wet. Going towards the end of the race. This is going to be a tough time for the drivers. So what were the lap times? A 2:10 from Sean, 2:54 from Adam. So Sean had a mistake somewhere. But if Adam can put more laps in like that, I don't think he's going to need to rely on Sean making mistakes. More pace like that, and I think he will have every right to go and attack Sean. A little bit further back, Thomas, a 2:82, William, a 2:51. How's the gap between them looking? 5.6. We saw it at about 9 or 10 when we last looked. Adam and Coleman 2.7 seconds, so it doesn't look like Coleman has the pace. It seems the man on the move in the midfield is Adam right now. Or not the midfield, but in this bunch seems to be Adam. He's closed even more into Sean, getting to 1.5 seconds. Has gone up out of that corner. Oh, he's touched the gravel! He's gone round at the S! As we've seen all the cars, or most of the cars, always hit the wall. That's going to give the two Ford GTs a move up to 4th and 5th. Just as I was saying he was on the charge, his car's doing some weird stuff there. Adam has put it in the wall. He's getting out of the way for everyone there. That's Steph gone through there. He's let William go through to P6. So does Steph's had to get out of the way because of blue flags. He's done it rather unorthodoxly. He's been doing that a lot all race. Will Adam have damage? Is it enough to stop? Oh! What on earth is going on there? What is happening to Adam? It seems he's going to continue now. Okay, so... Oh, a lot of the cars are doing weird things with the effects. I can assure you their wheel arches are not on fire. Coleman, 3 seconds to Sean. Can Coleman now be the one to challenge for the podium? There's 13 minutes left. Everyone's pitted. 3.3 seconds. In just under 13 minutes. Can it be done? The other one we need to watch out for is William versus Tomas, because again, that was near enough 2 seconds on the last lap. Was the gap between them 2.7? As that one is coming down. This must be very, very hard times for the drivers. Let's just have a look on board with Coleman. See, yeah. It's near enough pitch black. It's raining. Is that Adrian ahead, or is that's Sean? So Coleman didn't have the greatest chicane. And it looks like we have lost Adam from the race, so that promotes Adrian up into the points after not having a rear wing on lap 1. So like I said, you continue, anything can happen. William has actually got past Tomas. Tomas has done a 2:14, so he's gone off somewhere. It's clearly quite difficult to keep the car on the track right now. So what about in this last phases? Can Coleman chase down Sean? Both fell spinning at the Schumacher S, as we've just seen Adam do. Checking with race leader Gaz, he's just started his 24th lap. So he should get about 29 laps or so in. He should finish this one and get about 5 more. Here is Ben occupying 2nd place. He's one of those ones that's kind of in the middle of the nowhere. 27 seconds to Gaz, 24 to Sean. Sean, who's probably going to spend most of these last 10 minutes looking at where Coleman is. Coleman 1.7. He was 9 tenths faster last lap. What's it going to be this lap? Minutes 7.6 for Sean, 2 minutes 6.3 for Coleman. 1.3 seconds. If it's the same this lap, Coleman's going to be right on the back of Sean. Of course, a lot of driving in the rain isn't down to skill, it isn't down to car, it's all about confidence. It clearly seems right now, Coleman is very confident. There's Philo. We saw him involved in the lap 1 crash with Steph. And there is Steph in 12th. So the two Ferraris crashing into each other and collecting each other. It's not how you wanted to see that go on lap 1. But we'll go back to this battle. This will be probably the thing to watch for the last 8 minutes. Of course, during the time we've live streamed this channel, we've seen Coleman win Didn't have to recover at Spa. He seems to be on another recovery drive today. But he's fighting someone else that was on a recovery drive, Sean. So who's going to be the one to steal P3? Closing into the 1 second gap. Coleman again has a straight line speed. You can just see how much better that Ford is. He's closed about 3/10 on that straight. He's right on the back of him now. Seems like one of Sean's strongest points is the traction out of Vidal. He seems to get very good traction out of there. Now see, it's about 7.5 tenths. How much is Sean gonna catch? There's Adrian getting out of the way. I thought that was a Ferrari for a second. Flash of the lights from Coleman. Of course, for a laps car, it is sometimes quite hard to tell that there's two cars coming along, so that might have just been a I'm here, or he could have been saying, Sean, get out of the way. But it looks like these two are going to have another 3 laps after this one for Sean to either defend it or Coleman to make the move. We've usually seen the Fords defending today. Now we'll get to see one attacking, see how we can use his straight line speed. Lap times last lap, still about a second difference. William with a 2-minute 4.5. Where's that come from? I don't think that's the fastest lap of the race. I think Gaz still holds that, but that's a good lap from man in 5th. Is it just a bit late though? Or if he keeps doing laps like that, can he take advantage of if these two scrap? That's Adrian going very, very wide there. He seems to have gathered it all up, no harm done. Now down the hats and beats. Into Vidal. It'll be very, very hard for Coleman to see right now. Slight front lock up at the brakes into the last corner. But he'll get a good run out of the corner. Again, very identical laps this lap, of course. Coleman will be naturally doing the pace that Sean is setting. He's all over the back of him as he spits flames to turn 2. He's on to turn 3 through the Mercedes arena. Very different lines for them in turn 4, whether that's just one of them made a mistake or that's how they do it. It's interesting to see how two drivers do it so differently. And turn 6. Coleman going very wide on the entry for the Ford curve. Whereas Sean seemed to want to stick more to the inside. Doesn't seem to have made a huge difference for either of them. Now into Dunlop. This is a corner where people definitely have lots of different lines. Some stay middle, some go wide, some stay tight the whole way around. These two fairly equal through there. Schumacher-esque, we've seen the scene of so many crashes this race. So we're down to 4 minutes remaining. So we're going to have 2 more laps after this of these two going at it. Now, what can Coleman do? He's got the slipstream, and the Ford GT's power. Is it going to be enough to get him past Sean? Is he going to think about it into Vidal? Or is he going to try and wait for the turn 1 move? He's had a good exit out of the Coca-Cola curve. Surely he's just going to sit in the slipstream. 3 tenths, 2.5 tenths. He's pulled out to the inside. Sean's covered it. It looks like it's done for turn 1. Sean's managed to gather it up. Coleman can't do anything about it. Coleman ducking and diving, trying to show a nose somewhere. Maybe try and get Sean to make a mistake. But that attack is over for now. They're going to have 2 more times round to try and make a move. There's race leader Gaz in the final quarter. Ben coming up towards the bet curve. I'll stick with these two for pretty much the whole of the rest of the race, because this is for the final podium position. Coleman looks to have the pace advantage, but it's a wet, dark Nurburgring, so it's going to be hard to make a move. This is a chance. Sean's made a mistake out of the Schumacher curve. Coleman's down the inside. Oh, Coleman and Slide, they've somehow not hit each other. And go side by side into the bet curve. Sean's got the inside and held it. Will Coleman have a run onto the straight? He's very, very close. Is he going to think of a move into Vidal? We haven't seen a move there all race. No, he's had to get out of the throttle due to being on the wider line, so it doesn't look like it's going to happen into Vidal. So they're so close to each other. Coleman just needs to stick close, try and get a good exit out of the Coca-Cola curve. Because this is going to be their last time down into turn 1. Coleman's brought his car out. Realistically, he's not going to go for a move, he's just trying to show it. Depending on how it goes, they might actually have one more after this. Do they have to wait for the leader? I think they might. I'm not sure. So it might be one more after this. We'll have to see. As Coleman's car still doing lots of weird things with front wheel arches. So you can see the map. Gaz going around the last corner. He's going to have one more after this. That's why I'm wondering, will these two have one more after this? Do they have to wait for the race leader? Coleman sliding into there. We saw him sliding into turn 11 earlier. That's when I thought they were going to touch and both go round. No, they somehow held it. It was great racing between the pair of them. Coleman catching again. Another slide. He's wide at 11. He's going to hope there's one more after this. Because if there's not, he's absolutely blown it. That's where we saw him slide when they were side by side when I thought they were going to touch. Watch Coleman instantly straight onto the back of him again. Looks like we're going to have one more as Ben has gone around again. I don't know if Coleman thought they were finishing there, but they're not. Sean's defending the inside. He felt the need to. Coleman will be getting a bit desperate now. Is he able to do an up and under? No, he's gone to the outside now. Every which way. Is this a chance now? Can you get him into turn 6? It's going to go round the outside. That, as if he can hold it off. There we quickly see Gaz wins the race. Congratulations to him, his first win of the season, but it looks like Coleman has managed to pull that move off. A shot nearly goes into the back of him. And Coleman's gone wide. Oh, that was so close. I don't know if that was a move from Coleman to say, no, you're not coming past. I went wide because I thought you were hitting me. And out of all of that, William has only ended up 1.5 seconds behind these two. Here comes Ben. Claim his first podium since the opening round. Yeah, it looks like Coleman has managed to pull it off. Yeah, provided he doesn't bin it in these last two corners, he's managed to regain his podium position. He'll finish where he started. Wow, what an amazing battle from these two towards the end of the race. How they didn't hit each other a couple of times, I'll never know. But there's Coleman in 3rd, Sean in 4th, William in 5th, a great debut for him. Here's Alex in 6th. He's also had a respectable debut, only 15 seconds off of William. I think some of the back markers have already finished. I think the likes of... There is Alex, takes P6. I think Greg, Adrian, Phil and Steph have all finished. There's Tomas. There's one of the back markers crossing the line, I'm not sure who it is. There's Tomas, and there is Jackson. Tomas dropping down to 8th at the end, or to 9th at the end even. But yeah, there is your race results. Gaz winning by 46 seconds. He also got fastest lap of the race. Ben takes 2nd. Coleman takes 3rd with a great battle with Sean at the end. Sean eventually coming out in 4th. William came 5th. Alex 6th. Tomas 7th. Had a difficult race after a great Sean in Spa. Jeff 8th. Greg 9th, then Adrian rounding out the points in 10th after missing his front wing in that one. Philo 11th and Steph 12th. Those two were both involved in a collision at the start. So we hope you've enjoyed this round of the MRC GTE League from the Nurburgring. We will see you in 2 weeks' time for round 5.